Happy New Year!
Welcome to the Heroic Origins podcast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Terrance, and we're just two comic book nerds doing what we love to do.
Make up new superheroes.
We're going to kick off the year with a special project.
In addition to brainstorming new characters, storylines, and visual designs, we're also going to create, we're going to write, draw, ink, letter, and post a complete comic book by January 31st.
As usual, we're going to take some random words or pictures and then riff off of them until we come up with a fully fleshed out superhero.
And what we usually do is we give ourselves a time limit, 140-minute regulation brainstorming period.
If we still haven't finished our hero by then, we'll move to a lightning round with 2 additional minutes per character element and 1 5-minute revision period.
Now get ready, because
Yeah.
it's collaborating time.
I forgot about
Still getting
that.
used to that transition. Okay, that's
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
all right. So, just to give you a heads up, we're going to be doing one Terrance and I were going to do this comic book, but we're going to try to split up the art duties. So we're going to actually come up with 2 superheroes, one tonight,
At least 2.
and then
Right.
I'm sorry,
I said at least 2.
at least 2.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But we're also going to have an additional brainstorm on Wednesday night, where we come up with at least one more character, I guess.
Right.
So, all right. So let's take a look here. Let's pull up the
started.
Heroic Origins outline here, and then I guess we got to get the Heroic Origins timer up as well. Oh no, it's already causing us grief.
You want to do it? Or do you want me to?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do it, and I'll pull up the get to our random words thing.
All right.
So, all right. So I don't know. These were the ones that were defaulted here. We can hit the random button again if you want. Should I get some fresh ones?
Get some fresh ones.
All right. Okay, so here we go. We got Virilia, male reproductive organs. That's going to make for a good superhero.
All right.
What? Matutinal, of, like, or pertaining to the morning, happening early in the day. Okay. And irresultive, having no result. That's a big word for saying no result. So, all right.
They are random words. We know that.
Well, they're random, not just random words, but random weird words. Uh-oh.
Yeah. So
what's happening here?
Those first 2 together.
Oh, copying and pasting these over is such a pain in the butt.
Are we trying to pick these words? We don't want to go with 3 new words.
We don't have a choice. We have to take the ones that are. We can be creative. Okay, well, we'll just ask let's see if there's anybody out there watching, and there isn't. But anybody watching, give us a heads up. Do you like us using random weird words? I think that's part of the fun, is forcing us to have to work within this, because I think we can come up with something interesting from these.
Having no.
What do you mean? What? Here, talk to me, Terrance. What don't you like about it?
Maybe okay. So let's start the clock. All right.
I guess no. Because we're not. We have to come up with a picture. We have to do the picture.
Oh, you don't have the image. Okay. So, God, how much can an image add to?
What?
I'm just thinking, how much can an image add well to this?
We don't have to use any of them, but there's starting off points there. Okay. Hold on. Let me just get this down to the right, I don't know, font or something. And what size are we doing? We're doing 12 or something. 12. Okay.
Like pertaining to the wording happening in
the this is a family show.
I know.
But this is not. But so I mean, we've already been enshrined in the in the show, right? I mean, it's not like if we change it that some kids watching this at the beginning is going to see. It's not. This is not a bad word. This is very clinical. Okay, it's a very clinical term.
I know, but I know what I'm thinking of.
That's fine. Well, then stop thinking. We haven't come up with everything yet. So let's get a picture. Okay, this is. Do you want me to refresh the picture? Get a fresh picture. This is just what was on the screen.
Oh my God! What is that? That's too frog.
Okay, there. Yeah, we're picking another picture. Okay, here we go. There, I think that's an interesting picture. Okay.
All right.
Is that okay? Is that you want to go with that picture?
Yeah, that's our picture. All right, throwing a net, having no result.
Shrink it down a little bit, but I don't know. That's got a nice little sunset and everything. I think it's pretty cool. All right, now we can hit the timer.
Let's start that timer running.
All right, we're brainstorming, everybody.
Yes, we are.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! How's your New Year been so far, Dave?
It's too new to say. No, it's been fine. It's been pretty quiet. I slept in, had a philosophy discussion, and with my philosophy group that I facilitate, and then my current events. It's really a current events group, but in theory, we talk about esoteric stuff. Wait, this is on the clock, Terrance.
I know, but it's a new year.
Your New Year's. How's your New Year's going?
It's been good. It's been great.
Did you wake up on time?
No, I've just been able to. I finished. Okay, end of last year, I finished watching all 500 episodes of Naruto Shippuden. So
congratulations!
I can finally watch Boruto about his son, and I was very happy with the ending of it.
I am stopping the clock here, by the way.
No, let it go. Come on. All right, so we have 3 terrible words and a picture.
This is fine. We just wasted a minute. No, I'm taking this back to the beginning. Okay. No, we can stop the clock and talk about New Year's stuff if you want.
Yeah, I bother. Let's just
keep
it.
Okay, fine.
We're gonna get through it.
Okay. We're gonna make it happen. Okay, so male reproductive organs. We don't have to do anything with that, but I mean, why can't we say it's a lover?
Oh, we can just say it's a guy. That's where I was going to
go. Okay, it's male. There, it's male.
It's a guy. So that we don't have to use all 3 words either.
We don't. Like or pertaining to the morning, happening early in the day. That kind of fits with that image there.
I can see that.
Well, I mean, and certainly the idea of having a time of day based superhero. I mean, you have characters that, like werewolves that change at night. Why couldn't you have somebody else who comes out in the sunrise? It's like a superpower that's only active until from sunrise to noon, right? No, seriously.
What if he has a time, like a reboot, like he can bring you back to the morning? He can start your day again, something like that.
Oh, could be that, yeah. So that, sort of like a morning reboot. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And irresultive, having no result.
But after lunch, you can't do anything.
Well, yeah.
It's too late. We're stuck with this now.
Well, I kind of like the idea. Go ahead.
I was going to say the having no result thing was actually that's the only thing I could see that kind of you could make somebody who has kind of a nullifying power, like something that's an actively stopping other reactions from happening.
Well, I kind of like the idea that you reboot every morning. There's certainly there's Groundhog Day or something like that. And then maybe not literally a time loop type of thing. But what if it's they reset physically or something every morning? We had that one character, Activator, which with serial immortality. Do you remember that character? Right. Yeah. So it could be something like that. It's every morning the person wakes up and they're, maybe they could have died, but they still wake up back, in their bed every morning and they're back to being, Oh,
what if they're physically and completely they reboot the day, it'll be the next day, but they go back to exactly where they were in exactly the same shape. So they could be, 3 seconds from, stopping a bomb, and then they reboot back to where they started.
Oh,
got to make their way from, say they're in like Kentucky, and they were in New York. I guess they've only got a limited amount of time they can travel away from wherever they started too. So.
Well, so what if we combine these two, sort of like so that they only have powers in the morning until noon, until the sun. And no, maybe too much. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, yeah. What is that gonna? What are these powers like?
Well, I like the net. Why can't we make this person somebody who uses a net? It's a hunter of some sort. Maybe that's the whole thing. This person's has to hunt down somebody, and then it's almost like a video game or something. It's like you've got 24 hours.
They've got a single spawn point that they go back to every day.
Yeah. Shows up naked and behind a dumpster or something.
Well, see, that would really suck because you got to go through the whole process of getting clothes and getting a step,
But this is the thing; it's a new day every day. Well, this is so it's not like time stops. It's not like time's looping. It's just that you're going back to that location.
Right.
So, and this is the thing: if they develop an apartment complex on that spot, then you're showing up naked in somebody's bathtub or somebody's garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be. Would you be a ghost? I'm curious. Would you be considered a ghost if you did that?
Because I mean, yeah, you would be stuck in that. Oh.
Because people could arrest you, but then you would disappear every day, right?
Yeah.
But people would also be able to. People would also know that you're going to show up every day, right?
But you'd have to. The thing is, like, you would have to reestablish everything every day to be any kind of.
So that maybe
you could still make friends and all of that, but they just have to find you the next day. Maybe
you might get lucky. You might get lucky that the first person that you run into every day is a friend. I mean, because like if you're respawning every day in the same bed, you have a girlfriend or something, then your girlfriend knows who you are, and it's like, oh my god, you just appeared. I didn't even know you came in last night. But then it would be like if there's the breakup, and then it gets really worse if years down the road you move, you're evicted or they decide to close the place down.
So actually, what if this is some sort of test subject? Then that would be
like a lab.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what about the net? Well, this could be a person on a boat, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, it could be in the water. It could be out in the water.
Yeah.
What if they show up?
You know what? If you know that this is happening, you could have set up a whole. You could set up a whole system for like where you go and what you do every day, because that's what you're going to need clothes, you're going to need money, you're going to need ID, like all of that stuff.
What if that's provided for you?
Well, I was going to say, what if because I would think all that stuff is left behind. You disappear. Otherwise, you wake up everywhere with all of that stuff, and then you don't have to worry about all of that every day.
What if this is an experiment? What if this is what if every day you're given new papers? It's sort of a quantum leap type of thing, but it's like you show up in this pool somewhere in the middle of the forest, and you get out, and there's a lockbox on the beach, and you go to the lockbox, and each day there's a new identity. So you'd have like a new wallet with a new name, a new, you have, details that it has a key to some locker somewhere, and you go and or it gives instructions on where to go. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think how you get into this situation in the first place.
What if it's like a Lazarus pit? Like, what if it's like
what's that?
Less of an experiment, but more of a the Fountain of Youth. Like somebody found the Fountain of Youth, but it's not really all that it's cracked up to be. You're reset every day, but
because that's interesting because you get to be eternally young, but you're stuck with it. You have the starting point is at the fountain every single day,
and it is just like a fountain in like some cave. So
wow, so you actually
or like
Would
a
he be
pool.
the only person? Would he be the only person, or would there be other people spawning at the
There
same
could
time?
be, yeah.
That'd be interesting. So you have a whole bunch of people spawning there, um, but this is the thing. Like, so you get this. Okay, so I'm just trying to think. Okay, so you as a person, you're looking for the fountain of youth because you're old, I guess, or whatever, and or you're dying. Maybe the person was dying, like you're suggesting,
Yeah.
and you go and you find this place. You get in there, and it cures you of whatever you've got.
Hmm.
Um, so you would have first off, would you have gone there alone or would you have gone with friends? Would you have taken your clothes off before getting in the fountain? I'm thinking so. So you probably laid it off to the side.
Yeah.
But then if other people are respawning, then somebody else could have stolen it. But if you brought friends, I'm just walking through the initial situation.
Huh. So okay, so you're an explorer. I mean, the question is how many people are going to buy into this exploration, and how many people are going to be like, you're crazy. We're done. We're out of here. We're not going to keep looking. And where is it ultimately? Like, is it in Florida, or is it in the middle of nowhere? Because if it's in the middle of nowhere, then
Well,
you're
Florida
stuck.
would be nice because it'd at least be warm
Yeah.
most of the
Well,
time.
I'm thinking Florida would be nice because at least you've got civilization around you, as
Yeah, yeah,
opposed to
yeah.
being in the
But
middle of a rainforest with nothing, so that you've got to find a way out of the rainforest
oh,
every day.
sure, sure. But of course, the closer it is to civilization, the more likely other people are to find it.
Right. Well, maybe it's underground, deep underground, in the
Well,
catacombs
it's a
of.
bunch of spelunkers. So it's basically okay. So it's available to spelunkers, but then what is that? But then that makes it hard to get out, right? So without your gear,
Well, actually, though, like, how long has this person been there? Like, have they amassed a fortune? Like, maybe they built maybe it's a bat cave at this point, and it's under
well,
their mansion, and they just wake up there every day and come up into their
well, let's
mansion.
just think through how this works from the first time you go. I mean, we could do it from the 1800s or something. So somebody goes to this here, they're because they've been people spelunk, every era. Um, they get to this thing, they find the fountain of youth, they get in there.
Hmm.
This is something they had to crawl into, so
Right,
it's maybe close to civilization, but it's not easily accessible,
right, right,
which
right.
is what makes the spelunking work. Right? It's just a local
Hmm.
park that has
Right.
some, and so it's got to be difficult, not easy for people to get to. But I mean, we
Hmm.
still run into the problem of, yeah, I guess that's the thing is like you'd have to start collecting items there because each time you disappear at the end of the day,
Hmm.
all your clothes, all your belongings are left at that location,
Yeah,
right?
would either be left where that you were, or they go with you. So.
Yeah. So I mean, you'd if you're showing up naked each time. So that's weird. So there's a whole bunch of like just clothing lying around. So what kind of clothing choices would you make if you knew that the stuff was going to be disposed of and you don't necessarily want it to be tracked back to you, right? Or do you?
Right, right. Well, wouldn't matter. I mean, you disappear at the end of the day. Like, nothing can really harm you. So, yeah.
Well, I know, but I mean, just it's nothing can harm you ultimately, but I mean, they can create hassles for you because I mean, right? If you do it right, you can always go home. You can, I mean, you can still work a job, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If you because if you're getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning at sunrise or crack of dawn at 5 or something like that, you can still have a job, and
What
you
if
can
there are phases? Like, maybe it can only. Because I'm thinking of, like, how does this ever end for someone?
you
And,
die.
like, maybe there are just certain phases that they can have. Like, it can only handle so many people per pool. You know, like you've got a morning guy and you've got a night guy.
Oh, I see.
So that there's, a morning, morning, brunch, and dinner. Like, they've got some sort of division there of how many, so that it's not, every random life
Because
form.
yeah, because even if it's difficult, you got to assume there's probably been if it's been around forever, then there's probably been hundreds of people
Right,
that have used it. You're
right.
right. So how does it clear things out?
I mean, like, basically you'd have to take somebody's place, or somebody has to take your place, right?
Oh, hi, Rebecca.
Hello, Rebecca.
Let's see. This is what Rebecca has to say there. There's some fun ideas. Also, if you take objects with you, there's some interesting implications. Though I think we're leaning towards not being able to take the objects with you, right? But I mean,
Right.
but what if there are certain objects you can take with you? What if there were like, what if there was like things made of certain materials or something that
Material,
actually
yeah. No, yeah.
that might be
That's what I.
interesting? And that's what about the net? Oh, we had the net thing. What if the net shows? What if the net is the one thing that comes with you, and anything you capture in the net, you can bring, will carry over to the next day.
Yeah, I like that.
And so what happens there is that like you can actually, what you can do is if you just put the net over yourself at the end of the day, then you get everything that you have comes with you.
It seems like a cheat.
Well, okay, maybe not.
I mean, but that would make sense. You put all your stuff in the net, and then you've got all your stuff. So
I mean, you're not always going to be the one that you want to have in the net. There may be something else you're trying to
exactly.
capture. So, what if you? Okay, that's interesting. Well, so what if you
you could just be
another person in the net?
No, well, that's what I'm thinking. You could be a kidnapper. You could be a thief. You could do all sorts of damage with that.
Well, but I'm wondering, does that person get caught in the loop as well, or does that person, because they didn't find the stream on their own?
Well, they would be in the net, right? So the net is outside of it, kind of, right?
Okay, that's it. Yeah, so like the things that are caught in the net do not get eternal youth. Right. Okay, and they don't get respawned every day in the same spot. Okay.
And there's got to be some process to it. Like this has got to be like some sort of magic well. Like there's got to be a process to taking a slot in the pool.
So that's right, Rebecca. The idea is the person is showing up naked every morning in the same spawning pool in this cave that they've spelunked to, and they're reborn every day. Well, not reborn, but they're respawned after. They could have been killed during the day otherwise, but they still come back in the morning. So it's like Groundhog Day, but it's not the same day. It's a new day. So this has been going on for could be going on for centuries or something. So it could be. But I think we still need to figure out how do they get rid of all the other people that have been in this fountain of youth?
No, I mean there has to be some sort of process.
What if they drown each other? What if the way that it happens is you drown somebody in it? Well, you have to fight in the pool or something.
In the pool.
I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know. What about the net? What about the net? Like if you're maybe the net somehow makes
whoever
a difference.
holds the net possesses the net.
At the end of the day. Only one person can have the net.
I mean, that would be something that. Well, but then because you can never leave the net behind, I guess. Though.
Yeah, you would always. Well, yeah, that's a good point. So that means because your first instinct is probably not when you come up from this pool to grab the net, right?
Right.
Okay. So you probably would, the first thing you would do, and if there's another person that's respawning, they would have the net, right?
Right.
Okay. So we have to explain that somehow. How would they even find out that the net is important that way?
Is the net really or is the net the thing that you had with you the first time? So that's your item, and it's like somebody else would have a different item.
Oh. Well, but again, let's see. If there is another person that's been using the pool, then they're going to show up at the same time. I mean, I feel like there's two. So you're going to maybe there can only be one, but there has to be some sort of. Okay, so you go to this. You find the pool. You find it in the afternoon. So whatever, nobody's there. Mm-hmm. You get in it. And the first time you do it, you drop in and you fall asleep, and then you wake up. It's 5:00 in the morning, but you respawn with this other person who's been doing this for decades, right? Mm-hmm. What do you do? What's the first thing you do? Do you punch each other? What do you do?
Well, I mean, you would just be confused. Would they?
He would. See, that's the thing. The person next to you has already figured it out, so they know you're a threat, so they attack you.
But is that saying? Well, but. that's assuming they know you're a threat. I mean, how long has this gone on for, and how long do they...
Well, if you need the net to be able to return, here we got another comment from Rebecca here. And the net idea introduces a vulnerability, which could be good for the plot. They have to have their item. Well, but I guess what I'm saying. So what? Okay, if you don't have the net, then you don't respawn, and that means you age. So I guess the net really is what it's a combo of the net or maybe the item.
Yeah, that's a question. Yeah, if you don't respond, does that? I mean, because then could you just go back and fight again the next day? I mean, does it stop?
Well, maybe
it doesn't stop you from trying again to get the guy who has the net, right?
Well, yeah, sure, but you would have to, yeah. So I mean that would be why the person who has the net and knows how the net works would try to probably try to kill you so that you couldn't take the net.
Right. So you wake up in this pool with some guy trying to kill you,
yeah,
and he's got a net. It's basically all that happens.
It's exactly what happens.
You found the cure for cancer, you found the cure for whatever, and you just woke up and there's this guy trying to kill you.
Yeah, because I mean that person's probably been through it before. They were probably, somebody tried to kill them. Right. I guess the question is, is there like a book, or is there something that explains the rules that's sort of sitting there? Or is there something, but when the person first goes to it, did they have something that was like maybe kind of a cryptic message that kind of explains what the rules are, but you just don't get it until you're in there?
Some sort of lore behind it that explains that, your Indiana Jones, like, historian, like, going through, like, the convoluted histories of, I don't even know who would have created a thing like that or known about it.
Well, we don't have to determine. Well, we don't necessarily have to determine that there right now. There's a mystery. There's a mystery to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's nail down.
Beat somebody, and I guess to death in this pool when you woke up and they attacked you. That's our hero.
Well, but this is you're fighting for self-defense.
I'm not saying that, but that's their, basically they were dying of some disease. They pursued this outlandish idea of finding the fountain of youth. They actually found it. It actually cured them. They woke up, somebody was trying to kill them, and they killed that person instead.
Yeah. So that's kind of an interesting, it kind of works on a metaphorical level. Because it's almost like, oh, was this person the personification of my cancer or my disease? And it was like, yeah, okay. So that actually that's kind of interesting right there. So you have to, I don't know. I like what we've been doing, but that would be an interesting possible way to go. Is that the way that you survive is you actually fight a personified version of aging or your disease or whatever. But I don't know. I like kind of what we're doing. I like the idea that this is the previous person who owned the pool.
Yeah. But we're saying that then there is only one.
Only one person can use the net. Now, this is the thing. That I'm presuming the person could walk away and give up eternal youth.
But because they only come back if they have the net.
If they have the net, yeah.
Okay.
So they could, but they wouldn't want to, because it's like they don't want to age. They've died 100 times or whatever in this process, and they're like, okay, I'm now addicted to being youthful and alive or whatever.
It's like, as long as they have the net, they don't die. They don't.
Yeah. Or steal the net back. That's true, because you could. I'm sorry. Let me put this up here. Rebecca's coming up with some great. Because that's true. It's like you could decide to sort of let the person have the net, and then you go back later and try to steal it. It could get pretty complex. Well, is there anything that we've nailed down here? Let's fill out our timeline here.
Right, let's see what we've got. Yeah.
So we've got, the background. We know that the guy Guy with, are we going to say cancer? Or some
Sure.
other, okay. Guy with cancer goes looking for fountain of youth and finds it. Okay. Boy, we don't even know how this person's a hero, but
But yeah, that's where I was. That's where I was kind of going. Like, so the first thing they did was murder somebody, but out of self.
well, they're not. No, the first thing they do is they killed somebody in self-defense. Okay, it's not murder. Okay, powers.
They didn't just beat them; they beat them to death.
Eh, they could have just he could have punched him. He fell, it slipped and hit his head on a rock. It doesn't. Could be an accidental. It could have been an accidental death. Okay, I mean
Okay.
the guy could have. I mean, or he doesn't kill him. He doesn't have to kill him. He just runs him off. I mean, anyway.
Actually, though, if you're the guy with the net, you don't have to kill this other guy. All you have to do is get out of it and run off with the net. You don't even have to fight.
Except that you're going to come back the next day, and you're both.
But
Oh well,
they won't.
they'll be waiting for you.
But they won't come back the next day.
They will because they know where it is.
But they wouldn't know how it works. They
Oh, you
were
mean the?
Yeah.
Well, but this is where, like, if you have the lore. Oh yeah, you bet, Rebecca. Thanks for watching.
Yes.
No, we're happy to have. We want audience participation. We don't have a lot of people watching normally, so you've got some good ideas. But this is why there needs to be some explanation of what the Fountain of Youth involves a net.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Okay, but we're okay. But what do we solidified here? So respawns every day in a cave with a pool. Okay, we got that part.
Mm-hmm.
There's equipment. There's the net is an equipment. We're not sure exactly how it works.
I mean,
Weakness can only respawn with things caught in the net. Okay. Wow, we just hashing out what the basic premise of this character is taking a lot of time here. We're going to have a lightning round, is my guess. Do we want to talk about a little bit about other things about the character? Who is this person? So is this person like so this is in Florida? Okay, we know that much.
I was going to say, are we definitely in Florida?
Yeah. What do we? Yeah. Let's. I should put that into the biography. Okay, Florida. What is this person's job? Is this person? Oh, this Florida spelunker.
Well, no, he's exploring. That's not their job. That's just what they ended up having to do because they were sick. So,
how do you spell spelunker?
They could have any other job in the world. So.
How do you spell spelunking?
Not. So he could be like,
I was spelling it right.
He could be a contract assassin or something.
What?
Well, I guess we wanted him to be a hero. It's just like.
Well, I mean, okay, if you're a spelunker, if you've got spelunking as a hobby,
this is just where he's gotten to in his pursuit.
What do we got here? Rebecca has another comment here. Someone was tapping across some secret info somewhere about the .net that somehow leads to them spawning in the cave. Yeah, spelunking. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Did you ever see that?
Well, to me, it seems like if you're going to know about this sort of thing, you either need to be like an archaeologist, or or an archaeology student, or somebody who knows an archaeologist. Oh, dot was added by auto. The dot was added by autocorrect. I actually liked that though. I was thinking that if it's .net somehow, that's like part of the secret code or something that makes it. I don't know. What were you going to say?
No, the kids, the soccer team that was trapped in like Thailand, the guys that were used to cave diving.
Didn't we do a character like this where we were dealing with those?
Right, we did mention that before.
We just did that.
We did have this conversation. Yeah.
Are we repeating the stuff? I think it should be. Well, it should. Okay, it could be somebody who's rich, but can't find a cure for cancer, and somehow gets rumors about this. It could be like a Doctor Strange type of thing, right?
Yeah. That's where I was going with it. Yeah, it would be somebody more like that. Who could have
it's
any
a doctor who's going to.
But it doesn't have to be a doctor. Just has.
Oh, no, it doesn't. I'm just saying that's what Doctor Strange is. So who is so? Fine. This person's a car salesman.
Their occupation.
This person owns a franchise car.
Maybe they work in cybersecurity, and that gives you your .net somewhere.
Oh. Well, that's. I don't know how we're going to rope that in, but but I mean, I don't know. What's a symbolic profession the person could have? I mean, we're talking about rocks, caves. This person could be an accountant who hides things in the Cayman Islands. I don't know.
Well, we're talking about eternal youth, so like they could work at a mortuary or something, or
that's that would create dilemmas there because, like, well, I mean, if you're also a doctor or something,
yeah.
That or anything where you just like, oh well, I could get this person back, or maybe I want this person not to be rich though, or I don't know.
I don't necessarily. I want them to be. I want the pool, the fountain of youth, to be protected, like to be like at the bottom of like some like basically to be in Bruce Wayne's Batcave. You know? And because the guy that had it before created all of this to protect it from anyone else finding it.
Oh, so wait. So there may be a house built on top of this?
Right. Well, I mean, wouldn't that make sense if you had it and you didn't want anyone else to find it? You would protect it somehow, So
that means that so you would have wanted to stop, sort of fill up all the holes, right? So,
right.
Let's see. We got maybe a scholar, a historian, or such. Yeah, that's kind of where I was leaning, but because that would be somebody who would know about the lore, right? But actually, that's interesting. The idea that it's if you would have previously, you would build a house on top of it. You would have filled up all of the entrances except for one. In fact, you'd actually probably build an entrance that only you could get into and out of, right?
Yeah.
So how does this person get there in the first place?
Well, they figure out that you're hiding it, I guess, that they must figure out that there's something there.
So the person who's,
or they find another way into it that you didn't know was there. So,
that's I like leaning into the dilemmas here that are created here. But I mean, you're right. That makes sense that this would be a very tightly secure area, one would think.
Yeah, I mean, just depending on how long you've had because I mean, we've been thinking about it, the person who's just getting it, but the person who's had it could have been there for centuries.
Well, is it possible the person stumbled on it by accident?
Well, I would think if somebody else has it, then no.
Yeah,
that's what I was.
But this is the thing. This could have been something that was held for like a century by one person. That person had built up a secure situation, and then one person broke in and to rob the guy or something, and accidentally got into the found it or something. So I guess what I'm saying is that the newest person may not actually have been there very long, but they have access to this mansion that's on top on this.
Oh, okay. So you're saying and then that person. So then our hero has come up upon that person, but there still was another person before that person.
Well, the whole thing is there could be like this really old. It's like an old mansion that's built on top of the rock or the rock face or whatever. And it's mysterious in its own right. I mean, that's the thing. It could be like this old mysterious mansion.
Yeah,
and there are old security systems, but there's nothing new because because it's also possible that the person got tired of it and just decided to off themselves, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like they
haunted mansion, and deep in the bowels of it is this pool of life. And
Yeah.
I
And
like that.
so if it's like an old house,
Mm-hmm.
so it's an old house and it's an old circuit and it's got old security systems,
Mm-hmm.
but it could have been just like kids exploring it one day, decided to go look at, and they stumbled upon this, or or it could be even something like a transient, a vagrant, or somebody who just happened to be, could be
Some
somebody who
Florida.
was like really high, like high on drugs or something, and didn't even realize what they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
like some sort of a meth addict or something that was looking for.
Yeah.
So that could actually be right there. That would be explain why, if it's well, if you were a meth addict and you got in this pool, would it cure you of your addiction?
Actually, I would think it would. That's what I was just saying. That might not
Yeah.
really be. It's just got to be somebody who is, who was exploiting, who broke into this old house just looking for stuff they could rip off. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, it's complex. It's all complex. Let's see here. So what do we have here? Another comment from Rebecca. So the prior owner of the net set up the lore so it could be found like an inheritance or pass off. Ooh. So the guy who decides to abandon it, he was the one who set. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
What do you like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Thank you, Rebecca. That's a great idea. Okay, so that answers that. And so but still I'm kind of so somebody else finds it. So wait, is the person, okay, I don't think we have to explain everything. So let's see. So the guy with cancer goes looking for the fountain of youth and finds it, wakes up rejuvenated, but previous user tries to kill him. They fight, and our hero prevails, but accidentally kills the prior user. Okay. So there's going to be lore previously. Uses lore left by, I don't know, original. I'm going to put air quotes, original user. Understand or to figure out what's going on.
Well, was that how he found it in the first place? That's what when he's...
Well, but it can be both. It can be both.
Okay.
So they find it, but when they're there, there's like a scroll or something.
Mm-hmm.
There's more. I mean, there's more to the mystery. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I like it's been there forever, so who knows? Yeah.
In fact, this gets back to the net thing. It's like you actually have to go, it's a set of clues. You show up in the morning, you have clues there, and it says you have to go out and find this if you want to access the next thing.
Wait, so now we're back to the quantum leap type thing with the messages?
No. It's just that you're trying to get the inheritance, is what I'm saying. So you've got, there's it's not a quantum leap thing because it's not, somebody's not placing something new there, but it's like, okay, so you wake up, there's a scroll that says you need to retrieve this key with the net. You go with the net, you retrieve the key, you show up the next morning with the key in the net in the pool. Mm-hmm. The key allows you to open a box. In the box, it has another clue of where you go to find the next part of the inheritance. That sort of thing.
So it's okay. So I mean, this guy, whoever was there before, is like, unlocked all sorts of mysteries.
And clues left behind.
It's a national treasure.
Or like, okay,
what was that? Monkey paw.
To retrieve items with net each day, or whenever. Okay. So there's nothing heroic about the character yet, but that's okay. It's an interesting character, even if it's not.
There's just him trying to unravel the mystery. That's what that is. So what does he do that's heroic that spurs him to take this ability that he has? Who is he that makes him, great power, great responsibility? That's the question.
Okay, mysteries lead to uncovering inheritance. By original user. Okay. So yeah, what would be heroic about the character? Well, we still haven't figured out the profession yet. Is it a young person that was dying of cancer, or is it an older person?
Let's make him like 30, like
30.
30.
Okay.
Late 30s, early 40s, somewhere in there.
Oh, but they, and they could totally have a friend that got him on top of this, this lore and the mystery of the whole thing. It wouldn't even have to be them, but it would have to be somebody who would have friends like that. I don't know. Let's skip that one. Let's do that in the speed one.
Okay, yeah. Like,
is there a name for the character, or sorry? Go ahead.
Just a ghost hunter friend who's like, yeah, check out this story from like this haunted house, and, like,
so a ghost hunter friend. Okay.
Yeah,
well, because that's okay. Enemies would be anybody else who finds the pool, fountain.
So okay. So his psychology, though, being heroic,
what's this?
He finds that he's a.
Ooh, there could even be a sort of library of stories that were what prior hero did.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Interesting, like a diary or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, diaries can be.
Ooh, yeah, that's good. That's good. You're a natural at this, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Oh no. We're running out of time. Damn it.
There you go.
Okay. Well, all right. We ran out of our regulation. Oh, let's stop that thing. Yeah. Our regulation brainstorming period has ended. And that means it is time for
lightning round.
Amazing graphics were done by yours truly. All right, we're going to go to the lightning round. What we're going to do is we're going to give ourselves. You've seen the outline here. We have a 2-minute. We're going to give 2 minutes for each category that we did not finish, and then a 5-minute revision period at the very end. So, all right, what are the things we got here? We got a bunch of things. We got the identity. We haven't really figured out the name of the person. We haven't figured out their psychology necessarily, maybe a little bit. We haven't figured out if they have any skills or what they look like. We haven't discussed social issues very much, because we always try to come up with some sort of social issue related aspect for each of these characters. What do you want to start with, Terrance?
He has a ghost hunter friend. I think that might inform us.
Okay. Well, which I've got that down. I got that listed there under supporting characters. So what do we want to start with here, Terrance? Appearance. Do we want to do appearance, psychology, or identity? Or social issues?
Let's start with let's just start easy, like his identity. Let's just go with that.
Somehow I feel like that's going to be the hardest, but let's do it.
Well, his civilian identity, I think, would be easiest. That's all.
Okay, well, hit the clock.
All right, here we go.
All right. His civilian identity, but we don't see. That's the thing. We can't figure out what the person's.
He's in Florida. He can read.
He's a lifeguard.
He's got a friend who does ghost hunting things. Like, what if he's just like,
what if he's
we didn't want him to necessarily be like rich. What if he's that paranormal investigative scientist? What if he has what if he is kind of, in between jobs?
Surveyor. He could be a surveyor. I'm looking at what's a stereotypical job in Florida, like somebody like a beach bum.
He could
You
be a
could be
barista.
like a barista. Okay. Paranormal investigative scientist. I don't know if we want I think we're leaning towards this person having a friend who's into paranormal. Sorry, this is
yes, I see.
Rebecca's comment. I forget to post them up there. So, a geologist. Oh, that was not the comment I thought I was sharing. This was the one I was sharing. So, well, a barista. So the person's
he could have like a part-time job. He's still like getting his feet on the ground, trying to figure out. And
okay, so maybe an Uber driver then. How about an Uber driver? Or what if it's
he could be an Amazon driver?
Okay, Amazon. Oh, delivers Amazon. Okay, so I'm just imagining some storylines from that. Let's do. Okay, let's. What do you want, Uber driver or Amazon delivery driver?
I mean, it doesn't mean that he hasn't gone to school for a lot of things, but we can address that in his skills and background.
So he's an Uber driver.
Yeah. Oh, I never turned this down. It's really loud.
Okay, we're out of time.
So actually, in that, we don't have to specify it. Like if he's just a part-time worker, that's kind of, I think, where we land.
Okay, well, why don't we just say, okay, so
let's have multiple
How about
jobs.
How about a temp?
Yeah, Rebecca said it perfectly. Could have multiple jobs.
Okay, multiple. Maybe we just say has a hard time holding down a job.
Well,
multiple jobs. We'll say that. That's good. I like that. But that could be a temp, or it could be somebody who just can't keep a job. Okay. Yeah. But an Uber driver would totally make sense. That's something
like driving Uber. I mean,
I'm going to keep Uber in there. We're totally violating that. We're breaking the rules here. By the way, Rebecca, we're supposed to have it all worked out after that 2-minute thing. Okay, so that was for the civilian identity. We haven't really figured out. Well, let's figure out psychology here. For heroic psychology, because we haven't figured out what. I think we have an idea of what the civilian psychology is. The person was trying to survive from a fatal disease. Mm-hmm. So and so it's about living. But once you have this gift, let's hit the clock. Because I want to do heroic psychology as well.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so once you have this gift, I mean, the natural thing is like, oh my God, I was going to die. Right. I was going to die, but I have been gifted, not just, I have not only been healed, but I have eternal youth.
Right. And not only that, but if he actually kills the guy, that, that puts more weight on that, atoning for his sins of,
So what if it's just like doing, so it's like doing a good deed every day? I mean, it's
trying to, atone for like this life. Actually, if he's been, working part-time, what if he does have all this skills and education and ability, but he's been like wasting away, like just doing, half-ass jobs and now feels like he has to do a lot more with his life that he has.
So basically, it was because the person was wallowing kind of in self-pity over dying and stuff. Mm-hmm. They never pursued like the grand goals of like being a lawyer or a doctor or whatever. So wait a minute, but that means education could be one of the. Well, that's not a heroic thing though. What's the heroic thing?
I don't know.
What's their heroic psychology? What are they trying to? How are they trying to atone for it?
I mean, by saving lives, by improving other people's lives, by
so just they're
because they aren't going to die no matter what, so they can get into all sorts of trouble.
Atone for killing previous user. Okay, that's enough right there. So we can figure out the details later. So all right, so we did it. We can stop the clock.
Are you sure you want to stop it, or do you want to go ahead and say civilian, since you already sorted out civilian, honestly?
Well, we can do that as a separate 2-minute thing.
Okay.
I think that we've got civilian. I think the civilian motivation is just been, the civilian motivation was just to survive.
Right.
And was just survival, basically.
Right.
Surviving cancer.
Right.
Okay. So that doesn't, we don't need to do the clock on that.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about appearance, which should be easy, I think.
You think so?
Okay, well, let's hit the clock and find out.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, well, first off, is this person going to dress up as a superhero? I somehow don't think so. Or do you? Do you think so?
I mean, I think.
Oh, there's a net. We got a net.
Well, he has a net, but if needed, I don't think that he necessarily has to worry about. Well, he would worry about it if he's going to be alive forever. At some point, he's going to want to, protect who he is. Otherwise, people are going to.
Oh well, that's okay. Okay, so that's.
I mean, at
but
least
if you're alive forever, you're going to be able to build a identity. You're going to be able to build. That's going to be more of like a issue of just like, oh, this is my son.
Oh, well, I mean, but it's like Zorro, right? Weren't there a lot of different people who were Zorro? They just had the mask, and that was Zorro. And so
well, will this person be running around? Is this a modern person, like a millennial? That's our question.
That's what I was thinking about too. That's where I thought of when I started thinking about the barista and the person being.
And the person could be a barista, too. Yeah. So
it's like if you had a millennial hero.
We're talking about superhero appearance, or okay. So, well, I mean,
I would think that they would have a basic face covering, maybe, but a lot of times they don't need it for whatever they're into. If they're, they don't.
I would think that the mask would actually draw attention to you more.
Well, it's just a method of hiding your.
Maybe that's it. Should we have a man bun? I like it. I think we should put that in. You want to have a man bun?
Sure, man bun.
Yes. I'm going to put that under civilian, though. Man bun. Unless that's the superhero. That's their outfit, is they put a man bun on.
That's going to be it.
Hey, good job. Good job, Rebecca. Sometimes the stuff we go with are just the last thing that came to our heads. Okay, so that's like a civilian appearance, I think. Whoops. Okay. I like it though. Actually, that's a visual we have not done before. Okay, let's talk about social issues. What are the social issues that are dealt with?
Did we address his heroic?
Well, I don't think we came to a solution there. We want to do another 2 minutes?
Yeah, I mean we got a man bun for his civilian. I just was saying, I think he should have a simple mask, like a Zorro mask.
Okay.
Like
why don't we just say a simple Zorro mask? Okay.
Okay, yeah. So that's all.
Simple Zorro mask. Zorro 2 R's or 1?
I think it's 2.
Well, and I like the idea that this is in Florida, right? So it could be like the house is of the period when Spain controlled Florida, right?
Yeah.
So it could be one of those conquistador mansions or something.
Yeah, I think of it as being like a really creepy, like. Actually, I honestly think of it being in a swamp more, because that would be why no one could find this cave, because you don't find caves in swamps.
But you still have
there. But,
well, yeah, there's definitely, but it's a swamp mansion, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, like a plantation, like the old Southern plantation kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, run down. Yeah, that's just how I imagine it.
But the Zorro mask, maybe the mask is actually left in the cavern with the pool.
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
There's a mask here.
Sort of. It doesn't necessarily have to be exact Zorro, but just like a little mask, something.
No, I like it. No, well, because it was more of a head scarf, bandana.
Yeah, right? Okay.
But it's like
that is right. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. So,
okay. So we've got appearance then.
All right.
Man bun by day, Zorro mask by night. And then, okay, we haven't had a heroic name. Oh yeah, we didn't even really. Why did I put multiple jobs Uber driver? I put that in the wrong spot. Hold on. That was under identity, but it actually should be under like biography. Okay, we need names. We need names for the characters. So let's put 2 minutes for which name do you want to do? Heroic name or
Well, I think his civilian name is a.
Oh wait, we got a comment about breaking the rules here. Breaking rules, going back to psychological profile, we could add to his heroic motivation via what he learns of prior hero as he does some reading in the cave. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So, I mean, this is a character that will evolve. I think that's kind of built in. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's come up with a name. Hit the clock. Oh wait,
let me
clock again. We didn't. We were
right.
diverted. Okay.
I was gonna say, I think his name should be Richard.
Okay. Why? Because you wanted to be called Dick something?
Well, just because it works with the names. That's all.
Okay, Richard. Richard Diver.
No, we should wait. Shouldn't it be something like what's another word about life? Like
Okay, synonym for life.
A name that means
Via. Oh wait. We go back to the other word. The name could be Virilia. Richard Virilia. No, you don't like that?
No.
Oh, but that's where the Dick was coming in. Okay, sorry. That's why, or Richard. That's why you wanted to call him Richard. Okay, because that was the random word that started the whole thing. Okay,
we can call him Richard Cox.
Okay, Richard Cox. Going once, twice.
I actually think I know a guy who I think who's named that.
Okay, Richard Cox. I'm sure there's actually several Richard Cox. Okay, so Richard Cox is the name. That's how we're paying homage to that random word. So, okay. So now let's restart the clock for the heroic origin one.
All right,
I'll let you handle the clock.
So heroic name.
Do we want to restart? Oh, you did restart it.
Okay. I did. Yeah, we're on it.
The Spelunker. Well, this is okay. It's
Spelunker.
Spawn is already taken. We could do respawn.
But I mean, I don't know. That's like really putting your chief number one ability out there. I mean, he's the net. He's out there saving people with a mask and a net.
Or .net. It could be .net.
.net.
No, the net. Actually, the netty.
That's a little pot for you. Netty pot.
I actually like net. I actually like. This is the thing. If media is who gives names to people, then it would be something like, mystery.net or something. They would come up with a name that would be .net, right?
Do you think? Yeah.
There'd be thief.net.
Actually, what if you just did do something like, if you've got a problem, leaves the website like.
Name of a rock representing vitality. I'm not sure what rocks are, like the Blarney Stone or something.
Like,
I like the net, but I like the net. I like the idea that it's like it's the black net or something like that, or the silver net, or the wet net.
Net looks like,
or the net, or the net total, the net sum, net
gains,
net retrieval,
the net. I think he's getting the net as his name.
The net. Well, do we just want to say the net?
Yeah.
Is that just lame or what? Okay, we got a revision period. Revision period. Right, the net is currently the name. We'll have a revision period.
There's something like, I don't know, old school about it that feels like.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, and that kind of shadow with kind of the hairnet. The hairnet. Oh, it's because it's got the man. Sorry, that's the hairnet by Rika. Thank you. That's with the bun. It kind of works.
Actually, you know what though? If this other prior one was doing heroic acts with the net,
be like Zorro.
Then it would make sense if, like in the 50s and 40s, you had like the Shadow and you had the net, and he was just this shadowy figure that ran around with the net.
Well, we didn't talk about if the net has powers beyond. There might be other things the net does.
We did not.
Well, we didn't. Okay, so we actually we didn't talk about skills.
No.
we touched on him possibly having multiple skills, so we could do that. Are we ready for social issues yet, or do we want to do skills first?
Is that all that we have left?
It looks like it. I mean, we'll have a revision period as well.
All right, let's go with skills.
Okay, skills. Okay, hit the clock.
All right, here we go.
So okay, we decided the person's spelunking. That's one thing. Caving. I'm going to take caving. Because if you're a caver, then you're also going to be good at rock climbing and stuff.
Okay.
But I mean, but we also want to say this person's like pre-med.
Is he? Yeah. Okay, I was going to say, he could be
pre-law,
pre-med, pre-law.
Took a bunch of.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like, yeah, I would say college educated, general studies.
College. General studies. Okay. But I mean, is there stuff that this person's deferred because of their diagnosis, right?
Well, is that the idea that they never quite finished? They didn't quite graduate? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. He knows knots and maps.
Knots and maps. Yes, you're right. And maps. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Well, yeah. So this person could have started as a jack of all trades. Maybe we should just say that. Right?
Yeah, and let's say that he is really like
you knew you were going to die, you wouldn't necessarily concentrate on just one thing.
Right. But what if he's actually was like, some scholar, like some really, had a whole big future ahead of him that, he just
that's out. The pre-med, pre-law stuff, or what we didn't talk about his family. I mean, does his family was he on the fast track to get into Harvard or something?
Yeah, I mean,
well, I don't know. I think the idea that this person.
It's like I like the idea that he already was there. He was out in the world, and then he stopped everything.
Well, does this cover it? Caver, rock climbing, pre-med, pre-law, college, general studies, knots and maps, jack of all trades. Yeah. Is there some other skill that you want the person to have?
Nothing specific, no.
Okay.
I mean, that really does cover.
I mean, it literally covers everything because it's got jack of all trades. So, okay. Okay, let's go to social issue here. Hit that clock. Okay. So, did it start at 2? It didn't start at 2.
Yeah, it didn't start at 2. Hold on. There it is. All right.
Okay, so what social issues should he more? I mean,
well, I mean, he's, I question whether he should be dying of cancer. We could make that a better.
Well, yeah, cancer is kind of the go-to.
Yeah,
but you can come up with something later. That's in the revision period, though.
But what if the guy that he ended up killing, was a transient, was a person who had all, and the guilt of, ending that life, like maybe he has leanings towards, doing something about, the forgotten people who suffer without healthcare kind of stuff, that sort of, those people, especially all throughout Florida.
Yeah. Well, it could also just be about. It could just be about terminal illness. Could be the issue, and not just like, and I don't mean like from a medical perspective, but it could be about like how terminal illness. They're people are survivors, right? They survive terminal illnesses, and they have to and they end up oftentimes recreating their lives and pursuing new things, and it's a life-changing experience. So and then there's people that who do end up dying who feel like they've wasted their lives. Right. So maybe the purpose of this guy is to try to inspire people.
Yeah, I see that.
Does that really work as a social thing though?
I mean, you've got people who fear death and people who approach. I mean, all the different ways that people approach death. It's.
Yeah. Well, so he's so what if it's just about his social issue is just life changing,
right?
Making it's like obviously there's changes. There's always changes, but I mean, like doing like that. How do you say it? That epiphanies, trying to bring epiphanies to people so that they make positive life changes. Sounds a little bit like a guru, though.
Yeah.
But maybe we should. I like the first one, the homeless, like helping.
Well, I think there's a lot to do with death and dying, honestly. And
well, let's just say
hospice
okay,
care, kind of.
death and dying. Why don't we just say death and dying? Whoops. I can't type. End of life.
Oh, I thought you were about to type enforcement, which would be a different thing.
But death and dying and life-changing events.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Do we have a 5-minute timer, or did we ever put that together?
We do have a 5-minute timer. Do we want to pull that out?
I think we want to review this.
Okay.
So
let's pull out our 5-minute timer.
Death and dying. This is a good point from Rebecca here. Death and dying are pretty topical right now with COVID. Absolutely.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got getting our. Okay, we're gonna have to resort our screen here once we get this in here.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Beep.
Yeah, because I think there's some stuff that we're not completely on board with. Everything has to move at least once to get on the screen. So
interesting.
All right, let's hit the clock and let's just start looking at what we want to revise. But I do think we're okay with the net. I think in Richard Cox is good. The biography. Well, let's see. Okay, I think the basic heroic origin we have down, right? Wanting to atone for previous surviving cancer. Eternal youth responds every day in the cave with a pool. Weakness can only respond with things caught in the net. Appearance. Are we happy with the appearance?
Where do we? Heroic, simple, Zorro mask, civilian man bun.
So there's a ghost hunter friend. We didn't really flesh out the ghost hunter friend.
Okay.
Does that person even know?
Well, is he keeping this a secret? Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I think that you would keep it a secret. I think you would keep a secret identity about that.
Okay, so we'll keep it a secret. I'm gonna make a note here that that's a secret identity.
They could still have a good friend, who might would they know that? I see. It's an odd thing for anyone to know, because if he does not respawn, like if he gives it up, if he gives up the net, does he then get his cancer back?
Oh well, yeah. If you stop using the net, then yeah, I think that everything would go. He would start aging again because he wouldn't go back to the pool, and then he would start. Yeah, everything would start coming back. Yeah. Let's put that under weaknesses.
Yeah.
Net. Without net, we'll start aging and become ill again. Okay. Well, got it pretty well fleshed out then.
Yeah, I mean, we can go more into the ghost hunter friend, or its enemies.
The enemies are going to
be specific enemies, or is that going to come out of our plotting?
Well, I would think like a reporter or something like that, because I mean, you're basically going to be doing good deeds with a mask and a net, and doing other things.
Yeah,
and then but you keep sort of disappearing, and that's going to be an interesting story. To know that this right. person's so like I could see like a investigative reporter being an antagonist, at least, if not an enemy. Should we put that in there?
Okay, yeah.
And because I mean that would be, because that's the thing. If everybody found out about this, I mean, that would be kind of a strange. What would happen if? I mean, that would be a storyline discussion for later. But like,
Yeah.
what would happen if everybody found out about this? Okay. Well, anyway, anything else? Anything else you think we need to revise?
Does he have any kind of moral imperative to try to figure out how this pool works? Like,
oh, you mean like what? Well, I think that's part of the scavenger hunter, part of the mystery. You know, it's like is it a moral imperative or is it just sheer curiosity? I mean, you're going to have these clues that are kind of being left everywhere. Right. And what if, you know, I mean, it could be something sinister, like he gets all these clues and then something happens to the pool. Maybe it, you know, it could be not sinister. Maybe it's like if you get all the clues, you find out how to, you know, end aging around the world or something like that. Well, that's a good point. Like, should you give out like cups of water of this fountain of youth to people? I mean, what's the deal?
Like, yeah, well, the thing is, would that do something? You know, does he try to, you know, does he have a scientist friend who he's trying to like, hey, I've got this stuff?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the paranormal investigator. That person would think that they're a scientist. Yeah. So, but there's also, but it's the net is the real thing, though. That's the funny thing. It's like the pool is integral to it, but the net is what actually is the key. Well, anyway, that all can be kind of fleshed out in the stories. That's part of the mystery. That's the storyline that comes after the.
But is this net like an ancient net? Like, what does this net look like? That's the question. We're out of time.
Well, you know, it's a good point you brought that up because guess what? We're going to have to flesh that out with the visual design at the live draw that we're going to do next.
True.
We got a comment here. Yeah, like maybe you can only take a certain amount of liquid away from the pool. Oh, that's Mm-hmm. Yeah. What if? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, or anyone that believes death is natural and the rules of it are being broken by net. I put those in the wrong order there, so.
But that would make sense. Yeah, anyone that wants you to die naturally.
Oh, that would be like a villain. That would be like an enemy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put that in there. So that's what is that? Enemy? Yeah. People who don't want or who think it's unnatural to use net respawning. Okay, so the pool itself, there's a whole mystery that we got to work out, but that's actually the storytelling. So we have the basic character, I think, and then we can work on storylines and whatnot. All right, do we want to do a quick try to do some sort of summary on this character? Wrap it up.
We can.
We can read it like in our best radio voices. So
Richard.
All right.
College.
There we go. Richard Cox, a drifter who couldn't hold down a job and dying of a terminal illness.
Is he a drifter?
What?
Drifter seems a little harsh.
Okay, fine. He's not a drifter. Okay, Richard Cox, a man left. Oh God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Anyway, the point is Richard Cox was having a hard time holding down a job because he was facing a life-threatening illness. So he went searching for the Fountain of Youth, and his paranormal investigator friend gave him clues that helped them find the actual Fountain of Youth. He dropped into this pool after spelunking in a cave, and awoke cancer-free, but then found another person trying to kill him, and then in the ensuing fight, he accidentally killed him, and discovered through clues left behind by a previous user of the pool exactly how everything worked, including the importance of the net, and then has been sent and then gets sent off on tasks to retrieve things with the net and bring them back to the cave. What else do you want to? Do you want to give other details, Terrance?
That's good. Yeah.
Okay.
We know he is the net. That's the most
He's the
important.
net. He is the net. Yes.
By day, he has a man bun. By night, he is the net.
He has a mask. He wears a mask. Okay. All right. So that's our, he's a hardworking man.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. Okay. So, well, that's it. That's our hero. That's hero number one. That's hero number one. I think Rebecca, you came in I think after we started, but the whole project here is we're trying to do a comic book from scratch, and we have a month to do it. So by the end of January, we're going to have a full comic book, and we're going to come up with two characters, one that I'm going to concentrate on, and then one that Terrance is going to concentrate on, and that's how we're going to split. That's how we're going to split the artwork. And yeah, so hello. And yeah, so we're going to have another brainstorming session on Wednesday night. And I don't know exactly what time.
I know.
Where's my script? Do you know what time?
No, I don't. No.
Okay.
So,
but anyway, should we read our script since we wrote it?
Oh, yes, we could.
So that's hero number one. But check back on Wednesday when we'll brainstorm a second hero for our comic book.
Check out our new Heroic Origins podcast Tumblr page, along with our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch pages for frequent updates.
And that's a wrap. Keep on hero smithing, true conceivers.
We'll see you next time on the Heroic Origins podcast.
Thop. You didn't do thop.
I did.
You did? I didn't hear you do it. Okay, wait. We actually have an outro here, Rebecca. You got to see our outro. Where is it?
Where is it?
Well, first off, do we need to post our...
What are you talking about?
Well, we got to do this part first. This part just says how people can follow us, which needs to have our Tumblr on there. And then we actually have a little video here to go out with. So here's our theme song. Bye. Thanks for joining us, Rebecca. And everybody else who's watching out there. I see a few people. All right. We'll see you on hopefully on Wednesday, if not before.
Yes.